it! Just do it!
Thank you very much, actual Cannibal Shia LaBeouf. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Smite Pro League week number 4, game number 1, split number 2, season number 2. My name is Bart. Your name is Graham, and welcome to the desk here in Atlanta.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
We're happy to have you.
I'm very happy.
We were surprised to have you, but also happy.
Everybody was surprised to have you. But hey, we're here and we're live now with...
Dude, look at your shirt. It's like looking into the sun. It's like a big shiny American sun.
Like a fat big bird.
All right.
The letter's
well, yeah. I guess that makes me the guy in the trash can. Well, hey, let's go to the P's and B's. Why not? It's Trig versus 2Ts in Titan.
Now, these two teams, honestly, Bart, this is going to be really important for both of these this week. Titan have gone 6-0, so they're undefeated. However, I'm just going to be straight up here. Their matches were not difficult. They didn't have difficult matches the first 3 games. This is their real true test.
Yeah, I would say so.
And on the top of that, there's Trig. And Trig need to win this, because if they don't, I think their season's done.
Trig should be hungrier than Titan.
Exactly.
In this matchup.
But Titan needs to respect the fact that, yes, they're 6-0 and they're confident with that. But the problem is that their opponents, they've had Nox. They've had, Night's Watch is what I call it.
Yeah. NOX.
Night's Watch, they've had London Conspiracy, and they've had Epsilon so far.
Yeah, and
so
Epsilon
Epsilon were good.
A good team, but
they were expected to do a lot better than they actually did.
Indeed.
That they have done.
Well, let's take a look here as the bans are in. It's Athena Ares banned out by Trig, who will be the blue team of the first pick. Titan banning out some very non-conventional bans here. Uller, Kronos.
They're solo lane bans.
Yeah, they are. They're solo lane bans, and they're also a little bit of a... They're almost throwaway bans, right? They're not actually. Like, these are gods they potentially don't want to face later on in the draft, but they're not taking anything out of the pool of the high priority picks.
That's the big key there, is like they're not throwaway bans, but they are throwaway bans. Because of that, they get Neith, Trig get Neith, but they get 2 priority picks in Bellona and Ymir. So already Kanye Life's going to be comfortable on his god, as well as that they're going to have Bellona in the jungle for Repicast as well. So already their lineup's looking very strong with that, and then heading back over towards the boys of Trig. Well, they're going pretty standard. So
yeah, so far the draft probably would be in favor of Trig, all things the same here. Neith, Sylvanus, probably the 2 most powerful picks in the game currently.
Agreed. The lane together is very, very strong, but it'd be highly unlikely we're going to see that lane, because we've seen a lot of Lobster playing these hunters in the mid lane just lately.
That's true.
And it wouldn't surprise me to see him do it again.
Yeah, Neith is that god.
Well, Neith, Sylvanus, they don't need to be there together. You don't need to be in the same
Exactly,
lane.
yeah, it's a little bit of a waste. You have such great lane clear with Sylvanus. No reason necessarily to get the Neith, and we're just going to mention this. Alpuash available for play and selected by Titan. Likely to go the way of Pretty Prime here.
More than likely.
Doesn't seem like an Ataraxia.
I can't really see him being taken to the solo lane just yet, especially so early. Like, if they do pick him for the solo lane, it's got potential, but they've got to be careful of the invade early on, which is always a problem.
Titan here, they are going to go ahead and ban the Rama, so they think that there is a second hunter coming the way of Trig. Trig, with their response ban to the Bellona, Ymir, Alpuash, likely to target, yes, a hunter or a solo laner, or in the case of Apollo, a solo laning hunter.
Either or, basically, in that situation. So now we've had a couple of hunters banned away. What's really left on the table in terms of hunters now? Well, Neith's already gone.
Anhur.
Anhur's available.
Xiblanque.
Another 2, really. That's about all we've really been seeing. We've not seen anything else.
Cupid is in the game.
Cupid is in the game, but I think
and so is the B.
What we say is Cupid had a big run of show. He had such a great run all the way through because he was good against Xiblanque. And then people realize his late game is not like every other hunter. He has to go frontline to engage with the Fields of Love to make it effective, and that's how he plays.
Indeed.
Teams don't want that. They want the back line.
Looking at Titan's draft so far, tremendous amount of crowd control coming out from these guys. Bellona, a lot of area denial. Alpuash helping with that as well. Ymir obviously brings a lot of crowd control to the table, and Anhur fits right in there as a fairly CC-heavy hunter. Over on the side of Trig.
Wingblade is what I'm looking at for Trig to be picking up.
Yeah, Trig's going to need some Wingblades. And gods like Vamana here. This is a nice pick for Xaylia because naturally he's going to be building into that Sprint 3. Has cleared the path as well. There's a couple ways to kind of deal with long-duration slows.
The reason he's picked that day is because he's not sure what he's going to be against solo lane just yet. It could be Alpuash, it could be something else. And with that Thor locking, he's still not sure what he's going to be against. Potentially, it feels to me it's going to be like a Bellona solo here.
Yes, yeah. Looking at the way, well, yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be Bellona in the solo.
You don't put Thor solo.
It could be Ymir solo and Bellona support with the Anhur, but that seems...
Could be Thor support, Bellona jungle. I mean,
really unlikely.
We're stretching if we do.
Yeah, at this point, it seems very likely it's Bellona solo. Fits right into that Vamana pick as well. It's a fine matchup for Ataraxia to take. Ymir, quite obviously, will be your support now, pairing up the Anhur. Natural synergy between that pair, Alpuash mid laning, and Thor will definitely be your jungle for Reppy. Almost no doubt there.
So looking at those picks and bans there, you can see duo lane for Trig is definitely the stronger of the two. They're going to have the early wave clear right from the outset and massive amounts of potential, whereas Titan are going to have to play relatively safe. I mean, Anhur is a kill lane god, but when you're up against a Sylvanus with that push power and the sustain as well as the Neith as well with that, it's going to be so much.
So, yeah, and well, overall here, I would say that Cabrakan is going to be the make or break for Trig, as Cabrakan theoretically has an excellent matchup versus Alposh. Alposh has no escapes and relies heavily on slows, and Cabrakan can notably become immune to slows.
We were discussing this off air about how much Cabrakan could be influential against this Alposh because of the all-in potential. Alposh is a very squishy god, a lot like an Isis in terms of actually HP pool as well. So if you can get on top of him, he could really make his life a living hell. And we'll see how we can do up against this. We can just keep an eye on what Kivo chooses to do on this.
Absolutely, and you have Lobster here on the Agni with long-range initiation. Let's go ahead and introduce your squads, guys. Doesn't look like we'll have any early action here as we're getting into about 15 seconds from the bell sounding. Trig Esports needing this win. They need a statement win against Titan here. They are the blue squad, bottom side of the minimap, and the left side of your spectator UI. It's Zaylee in the solo lane as the baby. Cubo Fred in the jungle as Cabrakan. Lobster mid laning as his signature Agni. Trixtank and Funballer will be going to the duo lane as the Sylvanus and Neith duo lane. Their opponents are in the red trunks of the top side of the minimap and the right side of your spectator UI. They're known as Titan. They're undefeated in Europe currently, coming off a #2 standing at the top of Europe in the World Championship last year. Ataraxia will be your solo lane Bellona.
It will be solo lane Bellona, and I'm not happy about this lane matchup either. Bellona in the early game is not very strong in the solo lane. She's better in the jungle because she's able to get that farm and do the rotations. But in the laning phase, her clear is not great and fantastic. That's a nice attempt from Kanye.
Yeah, Kanye tries to make a play there. Rest of the squad, it's Repicos for the jungle. Thor, pretty prime in the mid lane is Alposh. Kanye Life and Confrey will be your dual lane, Ymir and Anhur. And
well, watch himself.
You can see Kanye's
sustain. He has not much sustain. He's already got those 2 health potions. He started with the blink, and he's going to get bursted down. That's first blood.
That's first blood. Yeah, done. For sure. What was that play? I mean, they were trying to get... He hadn't used his hog, right? So they were trying to make an aggressive play there. They had the archer advantage, but he just got too far pushed forward and got handled. So Trig Esports takes an early first blood before the first minute is sounded.
That's something they've tried in that's something they've tried in scrims, right? Where they've done the fast buff clear and then blinked in, hogged it, and stole it away. But I'm guessing they've probably not had to deal with a Neith and Sylvanus in that lane. That's what went wrong, and that's why I think the potential for that pick was just not worthwhile. He's putting behind now in lane. Kanye's going to have a rough time. Let's look at that. Level 3, he's still level 1 right now.
Yeah, and Confrey has his work cut out for him as well to continue to maintain any kind of lane control here. Purple buff was dropped by the Ymir as he rotated back to the lane. Thor came over to help as well as Alposh. So some nice use of splitting the experience there with the Bumba's mask, but it's catch-up for Titan now as they've given up the first blood in that dual lane.
Keep it on pretty prime in mid lane as well, because I'm interested to see how he manages his mana situation, because early game, Alposh's mana does take its toll on him early on. You can see
Fred made an aggressive play here. He's trying to go back and pick up the back camps, but he's blocked in here. In the meantime, Funballer did get that kill into Confrey before his ultimate was out. That's nice for him. If he's able to hit level 5 here, could probably help to keep Cuvo alive. But
give us faith. Look, at Prime's got no mana.
Yeah, Prime has no mana, yeah.
It's the biggest issue with Alposh early on is his mana costs are quite high. And until you get some items going, it looks like you might go for that straight Gem of Isolation, which is what we've seen on a lot of the Alposhes, but we may see the Warlock Sash as well coming out here. It looks like he's rushing one of the two.
Yeah, and he's gone for the Soulstone as well, so an aggressive opening for Alposh. He won't have a lot of HP to his name, and mana can be hard to come by as well with this item. So you're right, it's fairly all in here, and Agni should really win this lane fairly well. Won't expect to the first several levels, but it hasn't been the case so far. But we did kind of mention it, not really giving enough credit though. It's another kill in the dual lane. Funballer now credited with his second kill of the game, and that one was onto the enemy hunter. It's a 2-level advantage for the Neith over the Anhur through 2.5 minutes.
And that's a Heartseeker very, very soon. It's going to be online probably his next base already.
He's got enough gold for it, I think,
already. He's going to
rotate
now for mid-Harpies, and after that he'll probably base, come straight back with Heartseeker, and that means that Neith's just going to accelerate the amount of damage he can get off.
Trixtank trying to make a play in the mid lane, not going to find anything there. Mid camp's up in 5 seconds. Cubo Fred on the right side, Funballer on the left. Ataraxia coming to contest right with Reppy and Kanye Life. Not a lot of level 5s over here on the side of Titan, but they do have Thor. Kanye Life starting to get bursted down, but I think he realizes he's dead to rights as the spin to win comes out, and down he will go. The first kill on the board for Titan, and it goes to the credit of Ataraxia.
Yeah, he's the first kill for them, but they did sacrifice quite a lot for that. What's Zaylee up to in the jungle here? He's trying to catch Ataraxia in the rotation, but just delay him from some minion experience. But minions are already dead. The Harpies did go both, though, into Trig's favor. in that play as well. So even though we did see Vamana rotate, I'm surprised he didn't go back to base here. I guess he just doesn't want to miss this farm, but he should have really based here to make sure he get this Heartseeker on. He's got enough gold in hand for it right now. I'm surprised he's going to clear this whole wave out and not just base, get the Heartseeker, and then stack these up.
Yeah, it's the Guardian being kind of forced to stay in mid lane for the moment. I think it's incenting him to not go for that play. We saw Xaylia actually rotate over and take a look at those back camps there. It was just like 5 seconds off the mark as Ymir went and cleared them out for Titan. Actually, kind of a big deal for Titan. They need everything they can get to keep this one close now. As Trig's pulling ahead, they're going to have about 1,000 gold lead here fairly soon. Titan needing to make another play really to get themselves back into a comfortable position. Yeah, Cuvo has an opportunity here to make a play on a Prime, but Prime smartly will run back to his base and barely avoiding that pluck. Was Titan's Replicas.
Did just jump to it. The buffs are coming up now as well. Red buff is available, so both speeds are about to come up too. And it looks like we're going to see Trix just start rotating back towards that Gold Fury area and get some farm up with Cuvo more than likely. Although I think Cuvo's actually trying to hold this for Trix to turn up here. As we can also see Cuvo I hope we see Cuvo actually go for the Wing Blade as his next item, because it does work very, very well. It's a good stats item. It's very cost efficient. Gives him HP, mobility, which are two things Cabrakan really wants to get in the face. On top of that, these slows that are on the opposition side, he's going to be able to ignore even more of.
Yeah, that's kind of the question, right? Do you want to basically double stack up your immunity to slows, or do you itemize aggressively knowing that you can shed slows through your kit? That's the question for Cuvo Fred here, and I think you're right. The safe play here is to get the Wing Wand, get those stats, get that HP, and get the immunity to slows, and have a lot of opportunity in the fights. But the item will proc when you are, you would want to get slowed and then use your one to shed it, and the Wing Wand would have procced at that point. So
I mean, the one thing with Wing Wand as well is when people know you've got Wing Blade online, what they'll actually look to do is make you burn it early before the engagement happens.
Of course, yeah.
So you'll see an Unravel come out from Neith, potentially. Neith's on that team, but you're looking for a slow from shifting sands.
Anhur shifting sands,
and then once you get those, that's when you're starting to look for making the pick. One thing to know against this Heartseeker, again, Vamana should be so much further ahead in terms of stacks right now. That late back has really just allowed Comfrey to catch up, even though Vamana's got 2 kills ahead. Look at the itemization between the two. It's still, there's gold lead for Neith there for Vamana, but it's not a big stack lead, so the trade potentially is still pretty much even.
Yeah, Boots won, not doing much.
I mean, imagine an extra 8 stacks, an extra 6 to 8 stacks, which you could have had if you would have gone back straight after those mid-harpies. Mid-harpies are coming up, though, talking about them now. Lefts and rights, and already because he's kind of close enough to them as the red buffs drop down for Lobster there.
Yeah, they'll be back up here in about 15 seconds. But yeah, I mean, I think you're right. Those extra stacks scale at a 1-to-1 rate with your in-hand, so an extra 8 damage per shot over the Anhur ends up paying out.
It's the World Weavers as well. If you can just do a cross-map World Weaver, the power spike is huge. That's why Heartseeker's so strong underneath.
Cuvo going to get zoned out for the moment. Trig's tank shading over this way. He wants to make a play, but no, Trig will actually...
Yeah, just clearing a sentry ward out then zoning out Kanye from getting in there. So they do get the left. The right one's going to go to Titan here. Is there a call for Trig to go for the Gold Fury here? That could be a potential. Actually, Cuvo was looking for a blink over the wall then. They might actually still try and go on Comfrey here.
Yeah, they have a decent angle here. They can force the jump with Trig's tank. No, they're going to get the CC chain here, but can they get the root out of Funballer? Why is he not firing his abilities? They use the Sylvanus ultimate. They just burst him down. Nice staggering, actually.
Good. It was the whole stack of there was try and get him low enough so that World Weaver would kill him. That's all it was. It didn't matter if he used Desert Fury to escape. If he leapt away, if he was low enough, the World Weaver would kill him.
Yeah, smart
so that's
play.
what they're after. So they do pick up that kill, but from there, what do they do now? I mean, they could have looked for the Gold Fury, then they've chosen not to, just continue extending their lead. And this is what I expected. Trig have to come out on all cylinders today and really make a go.
Investing the Sylvanus ultimate there means the Gold Fury is not an option.
That's very true. Very true.
But they do get that kill on the Comfrey, helping keep him down. Anhur 2 levels behind the Neith, and similar to Neith, Anhur not necessarily the best god in the world to be relying on late game itemization to have your first real opportunity in the game. Not a Shibalanke, not a Rom. Still a potent late game force, but certainly not something that's going to just naturally take over where Neith is going to be with the level and gold advantage.
Well, with this Hunter meta that we're currently in at the moment, where people have been running a lot of double Hunters, to see Neith versus Anhur the only two, their hyper carry status is not that high. So just keep an eye on the other gods in this game, because it's not going to be Hunters win the game, That's what people seem to think at the moment, but with Neith and Anhur on the table, that's not going to be the case. This is going to have to be a team game. You're going to have to see Xaylia step up and Lobster for Trig, and across the way, it's got to have to be this Bellona and Pretty Prime on this Puch, which we've not really seen much of since the start.
Yeah, Puch, though, he is the ticking time bomb. I mean, both teams really have that. It's Xaylia on the side of Trig Esports that, with time, will slowly begin to take over the game if he keeps pace. I think Pretty Prime as well. We haven't seen much out of Puch
he's
so
just got
far.
Sash, so
in the professional scene, this will be his first kind of play. Ooh, Ataraxia with the reactions there. Nicely done.
Just had enough mana for that as well. I was very close in the mana to be actually completely out and not have enough for it, so he knew exactly his calculations on how much he had to save for that. You will get safe for now.
But at some point, with the Warlock set fully stacked up and another damage item, Puch all of a sudden begins to really take over sections of the map.
He does. I mean, I'll be surprised if he doesn't go for the cooldown boost. Cooldown on Puch is insane, just because he can pick up those zombies that you can see on the floor there, those dead ones that he's throwing out, and then heal himself back up with those, and it also lowers his cooldown of his abilities.
Yeah, it does. Well, camp's coming back up here as we approach that about 9-minute mark. Camp spawn every 4 minutes for those of you keeping track at home. You can see teams kind of retreating to their side of the map as they look to pick up their next set of buffs. About 9 minutes into this one, guys, it's 3-1 in favor of Trig. They're holding a reasonable gold advantage.
It's a good lead. For 9 minutes in, it's not anything to write home about, but
experience is pretty nice.
1,000 experience per 3 minutes, you know? It's not too bad. It's a steady lead. And there we go, Comfrey's dead again. There's no escape from that Will Weaver. Will kill him
Nicely placed.
Even if Trix doesn't kill him off with that root.
That's a good kill to get on to the side of Trix, right? One nicely placed, nicely timed kill for the support can make all the difference here. He's going to go from having just barely finished his wing blade to he'll have his boots online sooner rather than later now, which is really helpful, especially looking on the other side.
He went that full wing blade, which we talked about that he should be picked up against the amount of slows that you're going to see coming out of Titan. That wing blade on Sylvanus, very, very useful. We don't see it as often nowadays because generally a lot of people, we've just gone past that meta where we had traveler shoes the whole time.
That's right. Looks like left side camp did go to Titan there with the double tap on the Thor hammer. Right side is going to Cuvo Fred, excuse me. Reppy, he's not going to have another hammer available. Can he close the distance here? No, he cannot. Cuvo securing that one nicely. And Lobster coming over to secure his retreat.
What is Titan's game plan this game? Because I'm very confused by it. Because at the moment, they're just hanging around. We've not seen Kanye make a play. I've not seen Thor go up. We've seen Thor go up once, and they got a kill from it. But he's had this ultimate the whole time. Is it Trig not getting themselves caught out of position this game? Or is it just Titan playing it so safe and just allowing this lead to happen? Because when I looked at late game, are they just waiting for Prime? Is that what it feels like?
It's got to be. I mean, that's the only answer to what they're doing now. But it doesn't excuse the fact that Repicos hasn't been very involved with the ultimate. Yeah, it seems almost like Titan is waiting until a team fight phase to really try to team fight with the Bellona and Puch combination. Obviously, Ymir lending himself well to that situation as well. But it's not an overwhelming team fight advantage. That's Sylvanus, Wrath of Terra, the Agni bombs. They'll do a lot they'll go a long way. And the longer the fight goes on, you got to be worried about that late rotation from the Vamana coming there and activating that sprint 3 and just going to town with his Runeforged.
Yeah, Will is going
to come in any moment here. Going to use the ultimate to leap away. Still stunned. Ultimate.
That's it.
And there's the smash.
Really, really nice work from Trig. Good combination of skills, good communication from the team. The Will Weaver was very early, but they knew it was still going on. And mid lane now, Puch is in trouble. There is the disgusting Crips coming out, but he's still going to fall down to the wayside. Trix is really... I'm surprised Kanye doesn't go aggressive on that. They could look for more damage onto Trix there. If he doesn't do that, they could potentially look for a Gold Fury here.
That's one thing we also didn't mention is that Sylvanus has that heal over time spell. And Puch, his dot will deal bonus damage and stun if the target is healing for the duration. So it's going to be a careful application by Trix Tank to heal his members up, making sure that Puch
fleeting breath, that 3 basically. If you do have a heal on you, even if Sylvanus heals your teammate as well, that bar as well, if you get healed by a Sylvanus, you'll get stunned because Sylvanus heals you.
And all the bonus damage. So yeah, he's got to be careful with the AoE when he fires it. And Puch can potentially can potentially really have a big payday in these team fights to be able to hit multiple targets.
This is going to be important.
That's a free and easy gold
Fury. I don't know. Well,
Thor's
Thor's going to go up, though. Maybe they can turn this around and get a kill off the back of it, at least. Zalia's not going to be the target from Reppy there. I can understand him not going in onto Zalia then. I mean, you just hit Big Baby, walk away. It's like, well, that's the end of that. But
that's right. Ymir just walled as well.
This is Trig playing a lot better than we've seen him for a while here, but I mean, they're not good at the early Gold Furies. They generally fall behind in the early game because they give up Gold Furies for free. Due to random backings is what I've noticed. They seem to all back at the same time. Like, well, this is the time of the game. Like, other teams are starting to realize this. This is the time of game where Trig just backs. So let's just do Gold Fury.
The experience advantage is getting pretty large now. I mean, just looking at the numbers across the board there. A level 9 on Ymir, level 12 on Sylvanus, a 3-level disparity in the support role. That one really hurts. That's where it hurts the most.
Kanye's really struggling this game as well. I've not seen him like influence anything. He's been trying to just farm, but even just in farming, he's still not getting anywhere right now. That's what I feel with this one. Look at Trix. I mean, he's level 12. He's been everywhere on the map so far. His itemization build's coming online too. He's going to be a little bit late on the sovereignty, but his personal defense is very strong right now with those reinforced shoes, because that extra health that you get from that now actually makes it even more viable.
I think it's Cabrakan here for Cuvo that's really making the difference in this game. He's been dictating the pace and not allowing Repicos to do that. And you would think with the combination of Ymir and Thor, they could get a lot done. But here, Kanye channeling his ultimate, Wrath of Terra used as well. Reppy does get that kill onto Lobster. Pretty Prime in a lot of trouble. You can see exactly how powerful Cabrakan can be. against low
that was
mobility
the
targets.
First time we've seen Kanye try and go all in with the help of Prime, and they both get killed in place for Lobster. A 2-for-1 trade is not what they're really looking for. They were trying to make something going. It is a sort of desperation. Now you can see them actually trying to defend against Zalia, going aggressive in the jungle here, and Reppy's going to take a lot of free poke from that. Big Baby is going to be coming out. They might go all in on that with the Tremors. They're actually going to force out Thor's ultimate. He won't be re-engaging.
Yeah, no way he goes back in on this one. Too many high HP targets. Blue buff likely to fall here. Orange potentially as well. Trickstick noticing that one's up. Zalia, Kilo, Fred happy to oblige him. Take this one away from Titan. And that's going to make Repicas's journey to get back and relevant into this game all the more difficult. Funballer missing a couple shots there, but will still secure himself a nice bit of tower damage. Going to take this one down to just about a third HP before forced out by Confree and the tower damage.
This is the best game I've actually seen out of Trig since before the LAN, when they came to North America. Like this is the sort of Trig we started to see earlier on, and we thought they were strong, but they've not had the best season so far, and it's finally this game they've had to step up, because I really believe they have to win this 2-0. They have to win both these games to still have a chance of making top 3.
I just expected that to be a Chronos pendant onto Agni, but it's not. He actually rushes Ratatouille first item.
I'm surprised by that.
Don't do this in your pub games, please.
Well, I mean, Ratatouille is very good. Generally, what you'd normally see is boots into Spear, or you'll see a Warlock Sash picked up on an Agni.
Yeah.
Spear's more like the best item on an Agni, but he's just going to go for the raw damage there. Chronos pendant, not so much required on an Agni.
It doesn't really make that much sense on Agni, but I just assumed it would be that. Like,
yeah,
who
I
gets
agree.
first item to Hootie?
Like, I mean, sometimes I guess maybe he was looking to potentially go for a deal up, or you could just. I'm not sure.
I think it's just that he just feels so safe against Outwash, right? There's just such little chance that he's going to, like, if only I would have bought a more cost-efficient damage item, I could have gotten that kill, right? It's such an easy kill for them to secure as long as they play it right. And as long as the Ymir is this far behind, it's a great itemization here. He has tons of damage. I mean, we can actually click on Lobster here and take a ride with him and see what his actual magical power is. 219 in the first 15 minutes. I mean, that's very, very high.
And then Ratatouille is good on its own, but then when you continue getting magical on top of it, don't forget the passive on that. Just means that the magic that you're going to be doing later on is even stronger. Spear's going to be next item, and then his penetration is going to be insane too.
Bellona having to leap away again. Zalia doing a nice job of really maintaining this lane.
I never really liked this Bellona pick. When I saw it, I was like, if it's not jungling, I don't like it in solo. I don't think it's strong enough to deal with.
It's okay versus Vamana, right? Disarm's fine, but Vamana's very ability-based overall, so... Yeah, I mean, all of his clear is not dependent on his enhance.
They can't kill each other. They can't kill each other. And then when you look at the team that they've got, they do have Thor, but Thor trying to kill a Vamana is not an easy thing to do. So he's not normally going to get help in that lane anyway. He's generally they're going to be there for the team fights to initiate, so Prime can like be in there with that crypt. But the problem is that Prime's taken a while to get online here right now. He's 0-2-2. They tried to make a play from mid lane to start getting him going, but it's taken a lot longer than they want to. And Trig is starting to establish themselves a very, very comfortable lead.
This is the big question mark for me here, right? Is that Trig, like we saw it a little bit out of North America. I think that they need to force a team fight here. I think they should just siege this tier 1 and force Titan to fight them with this big disadvantage. Exactly what they're going to do.
Really
Loving this play by Trig. 5-manning the tier 1 tower. And what we saw out of Cloud9 was actually they went ahead and took the tier 2 in this position as well. Looks like Trig was watching their NA games as they're going to go for a push of their own.
Pressure in it is good because Golf Fury's due up any moment as well. So as soon as this Golf Fury comes up,
20 seconds.
They can't really fight. Everybody's behind at the moment. Repicas is going to take to the sky now, and he's going to have to engage on this and just force them away. He's actually forced Crips on Prime, which wasn't the best decision, so they're not going to get the slows as much as they wanted to. It was a bit shallow, but Lobster's going to return some damage, and Zalia's going to find himself a kill.
Yeah, Titan, that's exactly it. They force them to team fight. Titan, they use their ultimates a little bit early. They don't get the right placement on them. They save the tier 2, but at what cost? They'll drop Kanye life, their support, as the Gold Fury respawns. Trig in control of this one. 9-2, 16 minutes and 50 seconds. What did you just
say? As the Gold Fury spawns, the support just got killed. They could potentially go back. They're just going to sustain, but they're looking for more. They're going to force Confree to leap away, thanks to that Spirit Arrow coming out from Funballer. Now they realize they can just start going for this now. They're going to head to the Gold Fury. Kanye's still dead for another 5 seconds, so we're going to have to see Titan trying to aggress on this, but they've not got the Crips available from Outpush, and they've not got Reppy's ultimate, so this is another free Gold Fury.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you look at the Ymir atomization here, meta hurting him. Going for that sovereignty, it has very little magical protection. And Agni with the first on him out to Hootie is, like, you saw him, he tried to channel the ultimate to Kanye life and just got absolutely destroyed by the 3 Agni bombs. That was a late indication.
We do see an executioner coming out from Zalia as well. I love watching Vamana's build, Zalia's Vamana builds, because he always changes them based on the meta and what god he's against all the time. He was one of the first ones that brought out crit rage on Vamana in the Pro League, and he was just like slaughtering people because he was just AoE critting in big baby form, and people were just disappearing back then.
What I'm seeing is that he's itemizing, knowing that as this game gets later and later, his job is to just go hit Pretty Prime and kill him and make him a non-issue.
Yeah, I mean, he'll explode pretty prime. On top of that, he's got the protections to be able to deal with Bellona. He's got the protections to deal with Anhur late game as well, especially with the attack speed, because he can just like chunking away at them.
Yeah, and that movement speed from the Sprint 3 will not only allow him to shrug off the slows, but also give him the ability to really stick to pretty prime. Together with Fred's Cabrakan, I mean, it's a very difficult game for Outwash.
It depends what Xaylia chooses to do here as well, because you can see that Atarax has got full teleport online. That could actually factor in, because I believe the next Gold Fury is make or break for Titan now. If they don't win the next Gold Fury, they're probably going to lose this game, and it's just going to be a slow bleed. Yeah,
well, if you take a look at the graphs here, you'll see that the lead from Trig Esports has basically made its way up into
steadily.
Nearly the 7,000 gold difference. XP approaching 10k as well. So
just steadily up. Look at where the gold is. It's jumped to the Gold Furies and then just steadily increased and then jumped again. Look, there's been nothing for Titan to actually get themselves back into this game right now. And now they're all so far behind. They're just all fighting for experience. They're all trying to stay safe. And Trig are basically able to just like roam around the map to an extent and like look for picks.
Now look at that, I caught out Trixtank there, but they can't really make the play. 4 levels behind is Kanye Life. Trixtank the same level as the Titan mid laner in Pretty Prime.
The early game just really, I mean, that early play from Kanye just put himself out behind. He blinked in, looked for that purple, didn't manage to find it, and then after that he got picked in lane by going aggressive and looking for it. Will Weaver gets channeled onto Kanye, forcing out his ultimate in case he got hit by that full stun combo. Because if he didn't channel his ultimate there, Trix would have pulled him.
Yeah, for sure. He would have gotten pulled, he got Agni bombed. He would have had a bad time, as they say. But, you know, hey, Trig, are they going to find more aggression out of this, right? They had that moment, they pushed the tier 1, they threatened the tier 2. Right now, they're actually threatening tier 2 on the right side. I mean, they're spreading the map out nicely, but this is what I want to see out of them, right? Get some damage on these objectives during this period where you're so strong, because, as we've seen, it doesn't necessarily last forever.
There's still no threat, though, from Titan. That's the issue here. Trig can just basically just slowly take away these towers one by one and just continue pumping them down, and then when they choose to fight, just disengage and re-engage. There's Thor going up, though. Here's the engage.
Yeah, he's got to be looking for Lobster in this choke here. But no, he's going to turn his attention just to the back camps.
So they got an ultimate for free.
Away with Anvil of Dawn.
So Trig get another ultimate for free. Now they're going to be able to see that that's total. Now they can go for the fight because they know it's going to be harder.
Wrath of Terra hitting used. Too. Oh, there's emptying the crypts as Outwash. But QF Fred, he's not really concerned about that. Reppy, yeah, that ain't going to work, buddy.
And look what Xaylia did. He pops sprint and just chases through the crypts. He doesn't care about it. Slow immunity, obviously. And now with Funballer there on the front line, he's going to be turning up. Comfrey, with the shifting sands, going to try and zone them away, but they still lose the T2 tower and 2 kills for free. I potentially Trig could look for the goal for the Fire Giant even here, sorry.
Yeah, Titan.
They're quite happy to. What can they do?
Yeah, nothing.
This is not the game I expected to see.
They have no initiation right now. It's Ataraxia leaping in. I mean, that's all that's available at the moment for Trig.
I mean, is Ataraxia going in, or is Repikas has to go in?
Well, Reppy's dead. Amir's dead. If they start Fire Giant here, like,
what do they do?
What do they do?
Every team fight we've seen, they've got Reppy for initiation if they need it, but Reppy's not choosing to go in. I guess the team is not in a position. And the only time we saw a potential for a fight was when they went to empty the crypts with Pretty Prime, but he didn't put it in the right position in that mid lane tower. And then, you know, Trig just walked away and went, okay then, we're out of that and now we can fight.
Well, Fire Giant it is, my friends, as Trig Esports will secure themselves the major map objective here at the 21st minute mark. It's 11-2.
This could be Titan's first game they've actually lost in the Pro League.
Yeah,
that means Cloud9 is going to be the only undefeated
team. This is shaping up to that, certainly. I mean, it is a huge hill to climb at this point for Titan. They've really dug themselves a hole, and they don't really have gods that play from behind very well. Emirs and Thors are not gods you want to be behind with.
No, you don't want to be behind. They've not got the late game. Like the games where we've seen Titan come back from the depths of despair, and when they've had like Afro Kali. Yeah. And they get hit that late game stride and then come back with 3 Phoenixes down. But this game, what's the god? I mean, is it Outwash?
Outwash unproven.
Well, so far...
Not the game changer so far in this game either.
No, I mean, a lot of people have been talking about his strength and everyone like tweeting out saying he's very, very strong right now. But in this game, he's been a non-factor from my point of view of how he's been played so far. Now he's got some penetration online though with that spear. Maybe he can do something, but look at the goal difference between him and Agni right now.
He's very, very wrecked by Cabrakan.
Yeah, he really struggles against it.
It's a phenomenal counter pick.
But it's just because of the slows as well. I mean, you can see with his ability, he did pick up that Wingblade we were talking about after Mystical Mail, and then we've also got Wingblade online for Trixtank too. So those two together with the Wingblades, they can just run through that crypt and chase him all the way out, so we can't sit in it.
Haven't seen this icon in a while. It's a Bulwark of Hope for Vamana. He says, I've had enough of your magic damage. It will no longer bother me.
At all.
Yeah, nothing.
And if it ever does, I will get a shield.
Yeah, now, I mean, basically he's just said, oh, okay, Outwash, well, how about this? How about, you couldn't kill me. I got about half HP in the last fight. That's far too much.
I don't even think Trig needs a team fight here. Like, they're looking for a pick if they can find one. Then Titan are just going to sit there. Phoenix is here. They should just split from right and left-hand side here. Send Xaylia and Cuvo to right and send the other 3 to left and just push him down. They can't commit. They have to fight as a 5-minded Titan here. They can't just sit here and just defend 3v2s because they're not going to be able to deal with it.
Look at that prioritization by Trig. They take out the zombies really, really quickly there.
Yep.
Disarmed Azalea. You can see him just kind of impotently fledgling around there. There's the clear of the crypts, but it's not going to be enough to push Trig back. Nice backflip from Funballer. Reinitiation comes out from Repicos. The ultimate has ended now. The pluck unsuccessful for Trix as well, but
they get a Phoenix for free. And what did they get out of it? Look at the ultimates on the side of Trig Esports there. Not only Agni, obviously, used his ultimates, but nobody else used anything in that. Titan on the other side, they used the Thor and they used Prime's ult, and now they've got a siege out of a Phoenix.
Hey, little taunt action from Funballer there.
Oh, he's getting cocky about.
You know, it's a competitive game.
What's he getting cocky about?
Yeah. You guys do know that you have lost most of your games, right?
He's not said anything about knife through butt yet. So, there's an engage coming out as well as Trix blinks in, looking for the big play, look for the Raphael if they can find it. At the moment, though, you can also see Zelius in the front line with that big baby. Just throwing him out.
They dumped everything in there. Bulwark was like, no. And also, I don't know if you caught it at the very beginning of the fight, right? We saw that Funballer had channeled his entire ultimate.
Yep.
And he actually shoots Pretty Prime with it right as that fight starts. With the 4-level advantage and the itemization, it does about 50% of Pretty Prime's HP. He's out of that fight instantly.
Yeah, has to back away.
Before he leaves the base, he's out of the fight.
Or he has to use his skills to throw them out so he can heal himself. That's the other option that Pretty Prime has with that. But if he does that, then he's not got any ability to do any damage. So either way, Golfy is going to go to Trig. I like the decision here to just do this now instead of trying to push for that third Phoenix. Fire Giant is about to end shortly. They can go back to base, spend up all this gold that they've just earned, and then just look to close this one.
Yeah, they're doing quite well for themselves. But even still, look, Alpuash, we're kind of saying, like, I'm not having a great game. Still putting out 10,000 player damage and being number 2 on the charts. And this is what this god does.
I mean, that's what he's there for. He's damage. He's like the new Anubis, is my opinion of him. He's like, he does a ton of damage. But can he get picked? Yes, he can.
Oh, yes, he can. He's a Blader.
It's going to be very, very difficult for him if he gets picked against this sort of composition again. I feel like this whole game for me is stemmed from the start from Titan. The duo lane fell behind because of that early invasion. I don't know. Basically, the only reason Kanye died there is because he went for that. He took Blink. And with Blink, he went aggressive.
That's not why he died. He died because he walked into the entire wave and tried to hand it.
He did, but we need to realize is
maybe it's a little tilt from
Trig wouldn't have gone as aggressive, right? If they realized that Kanye had all the normal health potions and mana potions, right? But they saw that he only had 2 health potions, and that's all he had. So the plan there would be poke him down, get him out of lane, and then they realized they had kill potential because of that, and then ended him. And from there, Kanye's behind, so that puts Comfrey behind, who then gets picked after that, which means that Prime's not getting the support in mid that he wants to make these all-in, Blink, Ymir freezes into the crypts.
That moment that Comfrey died to the level 4 Neith, without her ultimate, was really where things started going horribly wrong. The first one happens, but dying at level 4 to the Neith is just, you just can't have that.
And Zalia's not done much this game. He's not had to do much. I mean, Ataraxi's just dealt with farming for the most part.
Well, I disagree, actually. Pretty Prime is a race, but you're right. I mean, he hasn't had crazy impact, but every fight that we've seen him be involved in, he's definitely had that psychological damage to Titan, right? It's just the entire team seems so impotent every time he just elects to go in, even though he's not necessarily converting crazy amounts of kills. I mean, he's still 4-0, which is top of the game.
I meant in the early game, the laning phase.
No, I agree with
we
you.
didn't have to see anything from Zalia. It was just I'm just going to farm as I usually do.
Yeah, and as we see out of Zalia, as we often do, just spectacular itemization choices to just maintain
this
his
isn't the Trig. This isn't the Trig we know. They would have ended there usually. This is the Trig that realizes that this is an important game to him. They're not playing well.
Yeah.
This is a Trig that needs wins. This isn't normal. They would have ended there normally. I don't know why they're choosing to play it safe. They're going to go for the 5-shot, which, this is a good call, but at the same time, could they have ended? Yes, they really could have.
Yeah. The level 13 Ymir isn't crowd controlling anyone long enough for them to stop that Titan from going down, I think. I think you're right on that one. Atarax is going to sniff the Fire Giant here, and he's going to run into a large baby. Oh, if he's got a hog 3. He's got a hog 3. He's in.
If he steals it.
And he got it! Yes, he did! Repicos!
Okay, so they're going to hold for now. The beats come out so he can throw out the wall again, and now he's going to have to jump to his hammer.
And away he goes.
If he can just keep kiting them around, this is fine too, because it's buying them time for the Phoenixes to come back up. Mid-Phoenix is due up any second. You can only see they've pushed out the wave 2. Reppy's doing what he needs to, and he's just going to kite him. Come follow me for a jungle
Let's take a look at Zalia in the middle lane here, though. It looks like he's going to try to make the play for this mid. No, he is not.
Because the whole of Titan are swarming.
But speaking of the whole
of Titan... They're still chasing Reppy. I don't know why you're chasing him.
Yeah, diminishing returns now.
They can go and get these Phoenixes. Instead, they're looking for
hammer. Oh, he dodged it. Oh,
but this is buying him time. This is still buying him time.
Yeah.
Look what the rest of the team have done. They've pushed out all the lanes, and now they can try and defend.
Left side Phoenix will be up as well, and they'll defend the mid. So
they've got one Phoenix to defend now, which is right.
Yeah, hey, not so bad.
So they've in a semi-decent situation here, Titan. Not really, but
they got a long time. They got a long time to stall now to get this thing to level 20.
This could be a 60-minute game. I can see this one coming.
Is this it?
Oh, no.
Is this it?
No. And what we were just saying is like that was the safest option for Trig. Normally they would have gone unended, and now they've given them Titan hope by going for that fire giant. Like I'm surprised they didn't expect Thor to come in, and they probably just felt like they were just going to give it up.
Yeah, if you're wondering why you don't see professional level players buy Fist of the Gods, well, I hope you wonder no longer after what you just saw there.
There's like one or two gods that you'll buy Fist of the Gods.
A Nemesis, maybe.
A Nemesis, maybe. A Circuit, maybe on occasion.
Yeah,
there's not many. Thanatos, maybe on occasion. They're the only real ones that you'll want that sort of CC from, but Hand of the Gods is just so strong. Wrath of the Gods, should I say, is just so strong. Says the game where you hunt it, your support's dead. If you've still got it, you've still got a hope, and that's what Titan have now. And Trig have to try and make a play to bring down this Phoenix.
Cuba setting up the blink. He's going to have it right about now. It's coming up cooldown. He's out of combat. When is he going to go in?
Look for the pull. That was
the root.
Weird
Follow
pull, Trigs.
Nah.
I don't know what that pull was. He's been drinking again. Well, there's the aggression coming out onto Comfrey, forcing him out again. The bomb's coming out from Lobster, forced to Desert Fury, and Zayle's going to bring him down. Reppy is up. Where's he going to come down?
Yeah, actually, Zayla getting kill credit there from the Shield of the Underworld. Repicos erased by the double physical damage coming out. Pretty Prime being walked down as well by the baby. Dropping like flies, our Titan and Trig Esports will be taking game number 1 out of this 2-game set. Nicely played and finding a big statement win against the undefeated, well, the formerly undefeated Kings of Europe in Titan Trig.
It still wasn't
Rare
clean.
form.
It still wasn't clean. It should have been clean, but that Fire Giant was messy. It was a mistake. More than anything else. I don't know why they gave the opportunity for Reppy to get in there, but it didn't hurt them overall. They won the game. They needed to win it. It was important. I don't think we'll see the Titan do that again. Titan needs to come back in this one now, because that wasn't really Titan.
I think I actually did have Trig taking game 1. I hope I did at least. Hey.
I went Titan 2-0.
Yeah, I thought about it, but I was like, maybe Trig wins again. I hope I pick game 1, because if I pick game 2, I'm wrong.
Pleased, because Trig needed to step up, and this was this is the first game. And Titan, like I said, this is Titan's first big game, honestly, against what we would have called the big dogs of Fnatic and Trig.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. Let's take another look at First Blood in this one, though, as Titan does fall to the boys of Trig, and here's your First Blood.
Well, this is Kanye. This is all going to be Kanye getting killed.
Yeah, we're going to watch it again, and I'm sure Kanye watching this, when he's watching this one back, is going to be like...
Like any dual lane composition know that what happens there is like you press tab, you see what items they've got, you've already saw him blink, and you're like, that means he's got no potions, we're gonna poke him, and we're gonna poke him, and they're like, oh, he's not just pokeable, he's killable.
Yeah, it was like trying to get an early level 3 and make a play with a level 2 Glacial Strike or something, right? There's something there. I think Titan, they beat themselves there and then didn't find the right way to make it back in.
It was almost a cheese strat. That's the best way to put it, because it was technically. They did
a small, isolated, like 8-second cheese strat.
Yeah, they did red buff, they blink, they still purple, and Kanye gets the lead.
Right.
Basically,
that's
and you deny them. But if it doesn't work out,
maybe a little
what happens?
tilt there when it didn't happen. He blinks in like a second late and then tries to make the play. But Jungle Control, let's see how well Trig was able to actually hold this one down from Titan. You can see Fire Giants were split, as we saw at the very end of the game there. 71% control of the mid camps, standing out to me. Besides that, nothing really...
Well, 3 Golf Furies to Trig. I mean, it just shows the domination of the game when it's 3 Golf Furies in a row. All to the side of Trig. It's not a problem to see that. Time and time again, they played very, very well for themselves. Speed buff, general control. I mean, where's the mid-harpies there? I don't know the screen. I've never seen it before, but...
Mid-harpies 3 from the bottom, 71%
there we go.
to Trig Esports.
That's a huge amount.
That's the one that matters.
That is a big one.
The speed, yeah, they stole 1.
They stole 1 speed. I mean... The mid harpies are so important. Having 71% control is a major factor for it. Especially because even though it was 71%, it doesn't show you how many people actually were involved in the experience.
That experience. That's true.
Exactly.
That's a good point. Player of your game today, my friends. Who else could it be but Zalia? You saw the variant of the game there, using the Shield of the Underworld to reflect that Desert Fury back into Comfrey space and getting that kill.
He just exists.
5-0 and 4. Just brilliant itemization. And really picking his moments right. They're really the hallmarks of this player.
Yeah, he played a great game, honestly. He did what he had to in lane. He dominated his lane for the most part, got the assists coming in from Cuvo as well in the World Weaver. And then in the team fights, his itemization was good. He knew what his focus was.
This is a big play right here, right?
Yeah.
He ults as the Crypts come out, and then he's like, and sprint.
And sprint. Straight through the Crypts, ignoring it completely.
Great patience. I mean, like waiting, really finding the right opportunity to go in, and
I don't think
relying on Cabrakan, relying on Cuba to do his job.
I just don't know what Titan's game plan was that game. It just didn't feel like... I guess the whole plan was around this outwash.
Yeah,
it
maybe.
Just felt like it was all outwash because it didn't go so well.